Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, June 30th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about this tool, technical analysis, and how it can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. A couple of quick clarification points before we get started. First off, this number you see over here will still be changing as I talk about and go through the video, and this candlestick will be moving around. That's because the market is still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement, so keep that in mind. And then also I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, so for beginners out there, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol ALNA, absolutely monster day here with volume, over 500 million shares traded. So yeah, a lot of people watching this one talking about it. So let's map out some key levels here as we head into Thursday. So first dynamic here is, yes, the price has been pulling back, but within the pullback here, we now have a pretty well-defined trend line. So let me actually change that to red for more so resistance. So that's going to be a level that I think a lot of people will be watching. And while nothing is guaranteed, my point here is that, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It is plausible, it is valid to think that if the price can work its way back up to that trend line and then get a break up through it, that break in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. Again, no such thing as a guarantee, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that way? Absolutely. So keep an eye closely on that 30-cent mark. That'll be the key breakout point. As far as areas of support are concerned, if this continues on down, the price has also now started to develop a nice little lower trend line right here. So let me change that to green to represent more of the support. So again, no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that the price pulls back here? It could find some support before bouncing back up. That is, again, certainly a plausible thought process to have. So if you like to play penny stocks, that are getting a whole lot of volume, then definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, ticker symbol BBI, and like the previous one, a whole lot of volume here, and once again, got the pullback. So the nice thing about pullbacks that I probably should have mentioned with that first one is, while it doesn't guarantee anything, at least you can alleviate the concern of, oh great, am I the sucker that's buying the top? Am I suffering from FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, where you're chasing the price. And no, you're not. The people that were suffering from FOMO were buying there, and they're not looking very pretty right now. But again, that doesn't mean that it's for sure going to be a winning trade, but with the pullback here, at least you can eliminate that worry of, are you that person that is buying the top? So again, like the other one we just looked at, and this is why I want to put these back to back so that you could get the same general talking point, but we have that area of resistance right there. And then as far as the level of support, a little bit different here because the other one had more of an angled trend line. This one is more of a flat bottom, as you can see right there, as support. So support right there at 16 cents, that key breakout point right there around the 19-cent mark. So I just want to continue to reiterate, no such thing as a guarantee, but is it valid to think that if the price can get up there and push up through that level, that could create some additional buying pressure? Absolutely a valid thought process to have. Next one, AMC, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the previous videos, but if you have, hopefully remember me putting that resistance trend line into play. And that is very interesting because you can see late day here, the price is actually now broken up through there, which allows us to ask a great question. Hey, is this the start of something bigger? Now, that may not sound like a very important question, but think about the whole premise. What needs to happen for me to even ask, is this the start of something bigger? Well, something worthwhile needs to first happen. And in many situations with many stocks, nothing worthwhile ever happens, so it's not even worth asking that question. But in this situation, we did get the worthwhile event. Again, the worthwhile event being the breakout here. So that's why it's a question of, hey, is this breakout the start of something much bigger? To be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls back over and drifts back down. But again, to be fair, it's a two-sided coin. Maybe it is the start of something bigger. And before we know it, this thing is going to be continuing to break out and get more and more momentum to the upside. And that's the idea of a watch list, to find unique situations, to find interesting situations, and not just randomly rushing by, but no, to observe them, to watch them, and see if they ultimately behave in a way that fits your trading strategy. So yes, a breakout is underway. Is it the start of a bigger breakout? Let's see what happens. Next one, ENDP, and unfortunately, the chart's I'm not going to call it destroyed, but not looking nearly as good. Going into the day, you had this nice pattern up here, but you can see during the opening 30 minutes right there, price broke down through that level of support and then picked up quite a bit more selling pressure as time went on. So as far as that is concerned, these levels I can just delete out as I've served their purpose for now. So then we'll map out some of the newest levels. So in terms of kind of the new near-term level resistance, that's certainly going to be right here at the 60-cent mark. So you can see that a couple of times here early on in the day, both there And then late afternoon there, price tried to break above it, couldn't quite do it. But it does set up a nice potential breakout point where if the price can work its way up there and get the breakup through it, you know what I'm going to say. Is that guaranteed to happen? No. Is it valid to think that a break of 60 cents could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. So keep a close eye there on 60 cents. As far as areas of support are concerned, keep a close eye on that purple line there, 50 period moving average, which in the world of technical analysis, very well known, very popular level. And this is why it's popular. Check it out. What a coincidence that the prices all of a sudden started to go right around that purple line. So again, does that mean that it's going to continue to hold above it? No, but is it an area where you can think, okay, yeah, I could potentially put some and build some trade plans based around that level together? Absolutely. So 50 cents main area of support, 60 cents main area of resistance. Next one, NIO, and I'm going to do a little bit of house cleaning here because what I'm most curious about is this trend line here, which I've drawn and put into place previously. But what I want to do is just extend this out and see where it ends up residing here. So let's set that back in place. So you can see right here, actually a very interesting scenario because next one here, NIO, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the previous videos, but hopefully remember me putting that trend line into play. And again, the power of charts, the power of technical analysis. Is it a perfect tool? No, nothing's perfect. But I mean, what a coincidence that the price is all of a sudden starting to struggle right at that level. But that does bring up a very interesting situation and allows us to ask another question of, okay, is the price going to get the breakout? Are the bulls going to get enough strength to push up through that level? And if that happens, is that the signal that, okay, the bulls are back and there's more momentum to come? Nothing guaranteed, as I've said and will continue to say, but 100% a plausible and rational thought process I have. In fact, as I talk, check it out. Now that's getting green. In fact, let me zoom in here a little bit more and we can see that the price is currently doing battle at that level. And that's why I like to do these when the market's still open, because we're witnessing potentially the breakout right here as it creeps up more and more. So by the time you watch this, the market will be closed and you'll have a better idea of just how much of a potential breakout happened here. But the more of a breakout, the more momentum and the more the eyeballs that are going to be watching it moving forward. Real quick, I wanted to pause and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online trading that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can be used, how it should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for this free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. You can click to get signed up. Or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So again, if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live training. Next one here, HTGM, and what I want to do is just do some house cleaning, get rid of that level, and then extend this trend line out here that I drew in yesterday's video, because in doing so, you can see that, yes, late day today, no doubt about it, no need to beat around the bush. This has been a pretty nasty, pretty brutal pullback, but that's looking at one day. When you take a step back and look at multiple days as we're doing here, you can see the trend is still up, not only from this trend line standpoint, but if you were to just use that purple line there, again, that 50 period moving average, you can see that's got a nice upward slope to it. So once more, yeah, you don't have to worry about suffering from FOMO. The people that suffered from FOMO, that chased the price, they were buying up there. At this point, you have the pullback. Doesn't mean that it'll be a winning trade, but you certainly don't. You don't have to have that nagging voice in the back of your head. Are you buying the top? Are you buying the top? No, you're buying the pullback here. And with that trend line in place there, presents a very interesting situation where if this is just a temporary pullback, and from a volume standpoint, not a whole lot of volume. So it's not like there's a massive amount of dumping that was going on. So this could potentially just be a light volume pullback that ultimately turns around. So what I would classify as a unique situation. And once more, that's the idea of a watch list. Find those situations and then observe and watch them and see if they ultimately behave in a way that fits your personal trading strategy. Next one, TSLA Tesla. Going to go ahead and get rid of this line up here as it served its purpose. And today, yeah, a rough day with the gap down. Price came down to the 685 mark, broke down below it. So at that point, just based on technical analysis, you would expect this area to act as resistance. And that is exactly what's played out here. Price broke down, snapped back up, and surprise, surprise, look right where it got rejected at that area of 685. So I'm not saying that level can't be broken or anything like that. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price got rejected at that area. And then moving forward, that'll be the first kind of key question mark in terms of resistance. And, is the price going to have enough strength to push up to that 685 mark? So keep a close eye on that. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, and the level that I'm very curious about, especially as somebody that keeps an eye on Tesla on a daily basis, is what about this area down here at 670, and then followed by, in fact, and I might probably be smart to just call this a little support zone, that 667 mark. So 670 down to 667, very, very intriguing level, because if the price cannot hold above there, then you have quite a bit of more downside that could show up. But right now, it's really just a question of, is this 685-ish area going to serve as that rejection point, and then how hard of a rejection? And if it brings it all the way down to 670, then it's going to get very, very interesting, and I think these are going to be the main levels that most traders are watching moving forward. Next one, TRVI, and I like this one for one reason and one reason alone, and that's the ability to draw this trend line right here. So as I've talked about previously, I assure you a lot of people have drawn that trend line. So going back to the topic of self-fulfilling prophecies, by no means guaranteed, but certainly rational that if the price can recover, get back up to that trend line, and then get a push up through it, that break could very realistically create another great round of momentum and potentially get this thing up to $3, if not higher than that. So like I said, very straightforward reasoning, but sometimes that's the best way to go about it. Find straightforward reasoning, find easy reasoning, and then see if those self-fulfilling prophecies take place or not. So yeah, TRVI, in my mind, all about right around that 265, 270 area, which represents that trend line there. Next one, CCL, and same general premise as the previous one, really just one level that stood out to me, a little different in the sense of we're not looking for a breakout, but more so is the price going to do what it did previously and get the bounce off of this $8.70 mark represented by that green line. Last time the price was down around that area, you can certainly see a very, very impressive bounce, and once again, the price is here with a little bit of a bounce. Now let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price bounced last time does not mean that for sure guaranteed it will bounce again. But going along the same talking points, is it valid? Is it logical to think that it could bounce? Well, yeah, that is completely a plausible thought process given that it's happened before. So from a risk-reward standpoint, assuming, of course, you're going to honor stop losses and honor risk, this is a very intriguing setup because if it doesn't bounce, then okay, you have minimal risk. But if you can get some sort of bigger bounce that, who knows, maybe even turns into a reversal, then compared to what was being risked, you could be looking at a whole lot of upside potential. So if you like to play potential double bottom patterns, then CCL here is certainly an interesting situation. Next one here, NVDA, and what I like about this one is more so the very well-defined levels that I think a lot of traders will be watching. So I am definitely talking about this one from more of a trading standpoint. But the first level here that I think a lot of shorts are going to be watching right here at 153. It's basically the bottom part of this bearish pattern that has formed. So let me actually change that to green because technically speaking, it is a support level. But if that support level is broken, I could see that certainly generating downside pressure. And then on the flip side of things, we have this pretty well-defined area of resistance up there at 156. So let me change that to red to represent resistance. And then just to make this all a little bit maybe easier to see, let's keep the pattern one color. So again, we have our support, we have our resistance, and then we have the momentum move to the downside. So this would be known as a bear flag pattern. Now, just because it's a bearish pattern does not mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going downwards. But would it shock anybody to see it go downwards? No, I don't think that would catch anybody off guard at all. So if you like to play bear flag patterns, then definitely keep an eye on it. But if you're someone that likes to play bottom bounces and thinking that this is going to start to bounce from the bottom, I mean, to be fair, you do have a very nice risk reward, assuming you can honor those stop losses. Because if you do get a much bigger bounce than compared to what was risked, I can totally see how you might be thinking that way also. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. And it'll be actually very soon, depending on when you're watching this. It'll be Thursday, June 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort required to get this content out to you, then please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment, even if it's just the number one, a smiley face, the ticker symbol that you traded today. But those two things communicate to me that you are enjoying. And as long as I know that you as viewers are enjoying, then I will continue to put in the time and effort to get these videos out to you. So again, get signed up for the free class, hit that like button, leave a simple comment. Everybody take care. Have a good one.